Having set up our daily rules, we now have the ability to create a roster template, which allows us to set a pattern of how those daily rules will get applied for the employee's roster. So we choose the roster template. Now you can set up a roster template that is generic, i.e. everyone who's working in the factory, this is what we expect them to do. So we give it a code, we give it a name, we say that this roster will start on this date and it has a length of 7 days, which means it is a rotation. Every seven days it goes round and comes back to Monday. We specify the daily rule that will apply on Mondays. So in this case it's going to be weekday. On the Saturday and Sunday it'd be factory overtime weekend, or whatever that rule is. We could say that on Fridays the people in the factory are doing some admin. Not that you're likely to, but you could do it that particular way. So you're choosing your daily rule to apply on a particular day of the week on a rotation for employees who are allocated into this roster template. You could equally set up a roster template that is specific for one employee. So if I come in here, this could be Steve's roster, and we're saying that Steve has got a 14-day roster. So I update that, and then I simply go in and say, right, Steve is going to work in sales on a Monday. He's going to work in the factory on a Tuesday. He's going to work in admin on a Wednesday. He's going to do day shift on a Thursday, and Friday is going to be rostered off. Saturday is going to be rostered off, and Sunday he works on the demo rule, and then you would repeat that process for the other days of the week, depending on whether that pattern was the same. But it could equally be a completely different pattern, which means by rotation would be over 14 days, and it would come back to the beginning at the end of that. Now, this is not particularly common, that we have a multi-week rotation. Most companies would operate on a 7-day rotation. So if I put that back to 7 days, and we can see now, then I would go and specify what's going to happen on each day of the week for that particular employee. And you'll see the effect of that when we come to our roster calendar, because this sets the pattern that will apply during the week for the employee, and they might be rostered off. So for example, you're seeing here that we can set up a pattern for either a single person or for groups of employees under a particular common structure. Again, as you could with daily rules, you can create one roster template, and then you can save and copy it, and then just go and tweak the different parts of it. So that if you had 5 employees and you wanted to do individual rosters, but they were variations on the same theme, then you could just mirror each of those, tweak them accordingly, and then carry on. So that's setting up the roster templates. As I said, we'll see the effect of those once we start looking at the actual roster calendar and the employee roster.